ZZ109FM Talk Radio. This is Elsie Jenkins. It's an amazing world out there. Beautiful things and not so beautiful things. And today we're going to talk about the truth. We're going to put it on the table. And I assure you, some of you out there can't handle the truth. This whole situation we're talking about is about poor Nolan Wells. That's right. That's what we're talking about here. And we're going to break it down for you real simple. We ain't going to have all the glamour and glitz like other channels. No, we're special. The truth don't need glamour and glitz. To help me out today in this important piece of information is Loratti. How are you doing?
Ms. Jenkins, I'm doing fine. There may be a smile on my face, but that smile does not compare to the feeling in my heart right now when it comes to Nolan Wells' situation.
Also in the studio to help me out here is 10th grade education Bob. How you doing?
Well, I'm doing okay, to a point, because I'm tired of the same old stuff happening over and over again.
Also in the studio to help me out here is Reverend No Show. Reverend No Show, I'm glad you're here today. How you feeling?
Ms. Jenkins, my heart is heavy in regards to today's events called life.
Today's events called life. Lord have mercy. Put it on the table for somebody to understand. Because I think a lot of people on the planet don't understand. So we're going to break it down for you so you do understand. So you do get it. Let me start with this statement. Some people settle for mediocrity in housing, education, entertainment, and life itself. But those of us who choose the greater path know the truth that hard work may not make us the majority, but it makes us stronger. And when we reach our goals, we must remember that success often places us in the lion's den, surrounded by challenges, temptations, and predators waiting for us to slip. We cannot afford complacency. Our head must stay on a swivel. Our guard must remain high. And our interest, especially in our children, our churn, our future, and our values must always be protected. Because the moment we relax, listen to this part, the moment we relax, the lions will devour us. Vigilance is survival and survival is victory. And let me repeat this line one more time, because back in the day, my elders who had been through hell and high water before I got here on the planet passed down things to us in regards to knowledge about the world and situations and people on the planet. These hold true to my heart today, and I pass them down to people that I can pass them down to. It's warnings. It's truth, knowledge, survival skills. Listen to this line. Because the moment we relax, the lions will devour us. This is Elsie Jenkins says ZZ109FM Talk Radio. We tell the truth here. We ain't got all no glamour and glitz. We don't need no AI to help us talk. We're talking as human beings to human beings. And the reason why people aren't listening to this is because you don't want to hear the damn truth. From the truth. Our elders were intelligent people. And they learned from experience and was passed down information by their elders and people. We're not doing the same thing today. We're out here in a world that will devour us as soon as we do not pay attention. This world will devour us as soon as we do not pay attention. Now, let's start from the beginning of this Nolan Wells situation. First of all, law enforcement in the area. We're going to go around the room and give them an A through F. Law enforcement in the area on the Marine Patrol out here, supposed to be guarding the waterways from accidents, incidents, situations. What grade do we give them in this area that we're talking about? In this area of the planet where people congregate at an island, Horn Island, Mississippi, to congregate, mingle, gossip, court, find love, whatever the hell you want to damn call it. What grade do they get, Reverend No Show?
Miss Jenkins, this patrol is getting a F from me.
LORATTI?
Miss Jenkins, a F.
Bob?
I'm gonna give him a D- because he did go out looking for Mr. Nolan.
I'm giving them an F as well. As far as I'm concerned, all those grades averaged up, your final grade is an F. Marine Patrol, Marine Patrol, Marine Patrol. First of all, let's just stop looking over the situation of alcohol and underage drinking. And adults who are clearly operating these large vessels called boats and taking these kids to this island to congregate, to mingle, and to drink alcohol, drugs, or whatever the hell else they're doing out there besides that. Guilt by association. And anybody in this situation right now in that boat where this young man lost his life, that person should be the first one in jail in regards to getting, it's a misdemeanor in Mississippi, but it should be a felony for providing alcohol to minors. Now, you know, when you add alcohol and boating, you can have an accident, an easy accident. You can easily drown. You can easily lose your life when you're adding alcohol to water recreation. That's all we're going to say about this situation. But Marine Patrol Police should be on top of boaters out there, making sure that if they're operating, they don't have open containers. If they're operating, they have their alcohol situation locked down when it comes to them operating the boat, because they can't drink and operate the boat. And if there's minors on their boat, they should not be allowing them to enjoy alcoholic beverages and taking pictures. If we crack down on this, we may not have the loss of life. But it is what it is. It's an island of recreation that certain people are enjoying to their benefit. Moving on. This entire situation is simple. As far as I'm concerned, when I look back, my parents, if I'm going somewhere and one of my friends want to come, you are just as if you are my sister or brother. You are coming with us, then they are going to be responsible for you when we take you and return you. There is no ands, ifs, and buts about it. Or you're not going with us. Because no one wants to be responsible for somebody if they're not going to be looking out for them. So if you don't feel like looking out for Jimmy because he want to come along, no, Jimmy, you can't come because I don't want to have to be responsible to look out for you. But when you bring them along in our family, as far as I'm concerned, you are family. And we're going to make sure that if you go with us, you return back safely. And you can deviate from this situation if you want to and say, well, I don't want to go here. I'm going to tell you, Jimmy, no, it's not going to happen. Because I brought you here, I'll take you home, and then you can go where you want to go. That's not how the situation works. And if you need to go somewhere else, I'm going to communicate with your parents first to see if it's okay for you to go somewhere else outside of what we told them we were going to do with you. We're not going to deviate because you want to do something else, Jimmy. It doesn't work like that. So when this young man gets out this boat for whatever reason and doesn't return with the main boat, red flag number one. Because you don't take someone's child somewhere and then return without their child, but you have their cell phone. What sense does that make? And who is without their cell phone? Look around right now. Everybody got a cell phone? Everybody got it?
Miss Jenkins, I've got my cell phone. Oh, yep, I got my cell phone too. Yeah, I've got my cell phone looking really good right here, right next to me.
Correct. No one's really leaving without their cell phone. That's your means of communication. And you're on an island that doesn't have any stores, any emergency, any kind of communications out there in regards to adults, law enforcement, assistance. There's no park ranger out there set up to make sure that y'all have an issue. They come out there and help. It's not there. It's a desolate island that people go to have fun. You're responsible when you're there for your own safety. Marine Patrol is around, but they're not going to sit there and babysit you. They hold you accountable to be an accountable and responsible adult with your minors. This situation is ridiculous. But we're going to understand why this situation happened. And we're going to hopefully plant a seed in your damn mindset as to how to avoid this situation in the first damn place. Let's go. This whole show is about interest. And it's not about the interest we're talking about when it comes to your money sitting in a bank. It's about the interest within a human being's mindset. What is your interest? What interests you? What is your focus when it comes to X, Y, and Z? And we're going to talk about this interest. Everyone has different levels when it comes to interest. And we're going to break it down for you. And this will explain why people like this young man, who was a promising football player, a promising human being, and a promising citizen, could get caught up in such a situation. Interest is one of the most honest signals a person gives. It's not financial. It's not technical. It's human. When someone is interested, you can feel it in their presence, their consistency, their energy. They lean in, they listen, they show up with intention. Interest is the heartbeat behind effort, and effort is the proof behind care. But when interest fades, everything else fades with it. Communication slows down, motivation dries up, and the spark that once kept things alive starts to dim. You can't force interest, and you can't fake it. It reveals itself in the smallest behaviors, like erasing all your social media platforms. The tone of voice, the speed of a reply, and the willingness to try. And when you have people erasing their social media before someone is found dead and deceased, red flag number 2. Some people lose interest not because they don't care, but because they're overwhelmed, exhausted, or disconnected from themselves. And some people lose interest because they've simply outgrown the situation. Either way, interest is a mirror. It shows you where someone's heart is, and it shows you where your own heart needs attention. When you reclaim your interest in your life, your goals, and relationships, you reclaim your power. Interest is the human engine. Without it, nothing moves. With it, everything becomes possible. Let's go ahead and plant the seed right now. Let me tell you something. You don't take someone's child somewhere. You don't take someone's child somewhere. Be gone all day. Come back without their child. And then when that person's responsible parent or parents calls you and says their child has not returned home when they were in your care, and you don't have any concern with that, that means you're not interested in the situation. You're not interested in the outcome, and you're not interested in the fact that you were responsible for the child. You have no interest whatsoever. None. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. We're not going to like the truth, but the truth is what it is. And over 250 years, here we are, 4th of July, 2026, and we have a dead black man on an island because no one had interest in him. No one thought it was important to go check on him. And I'm talking about the people that took this man out. You didn't even think it was important to bring him back with you. No interest. Don't care about what happens to him. Unconcerned. You see, the truth is going to come out in this situation. It is obvious that we're not getting all the pieces of the puzzle. But to take someone's child somewhere and then return without their child and not have any interest in the situation and almost erase yourself from social media and the world before anyone finds this child is ludicrous. It's criminal. It's criminal. May not be a charge for it, but it's a red flag that something is trying to be hidden from the world. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of people out here that don't have interest in what black people do and what black people can be and become. A lot of people don't have interest in it. But what amazes me is that we can all get on a football field and chant for the same team, all different colors. We can do that for baseball, all different colors. We can do that for the Olympics, all different colors. Here we are. But the real fact is, when we walk away from the stadiums, you white people have no interest in black people. You have no interest in our success. You have no interest in anything that we do positive. You have no interest in our financial wealth. You have no interest in none of those things when it all boils down to it. This does not apply to all white people. This applies to the white people that this applies to, and you know who you are. If it ain't but one person, then the rest of y'all should not be worried and concerned. But if you can look in a mirror and say to yourself that I could take someone's child with me to the movies and come back from the movies without their child and then sit in my house and not say a word to them days later, and it's okay, you done lost your damn mind. You done lost your damn mind, because I know my mama would not take someone's child and not return with their child and not be concerned. I know this, and I wouldn't do this to someone's child. This is a sad situation, but it's been going on. This is not the first time this has happened. And the paragraph that we opened up in the first part of this show just lets you know that when you decide that you want to be more, you want to have more, you want to achieve more, a lot of times you find out that it's just you and a few, and the rest of the people around you are white. And that is the factual about it. If I raise 3 more sons, stepsons, black, and go and train them to play hockey and come out here and be on the Hurricanes hockey team, when they go out there to win another championship, they're going to be surrounded by white people, because a lot of black people haven't really gravitated to the sport. There's a lot of black people now involved in going to see the games, but overall it is a white man sport. But the bottom line is, you are the minority out there. You're not the majority. Interest. They're interested in you when you come out there and play hockey and you beat everyone's ass on the hockey court. Their interest only goes that far. It doesn't go any further. And this is only applying to those white people out there. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's just not a white person thing when it comes to this interest. It could be any color. It could be your own color. Some people don't have interest in what you want to do and believe in when you try to grow up and be a person. It's no difference. Interest has no color connection. It is an internal part of you that you can either cut on or cut off. And as you look at this situation, somebody cut their interest off in this young man and went in and deleted all their accounts. Now when you look at this judge that did that, she's no stupid person. She's very intelligent. She's very intelligent, and she's doing everything she needs to do to make sure that she protects her interest. You can read it in her paragraph she sent. It's right there in black and white. She's no dummy, and she understands how the system works and how things can be manipulated through those sites. It can also have a bearing on a potential case in the future. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, let's just say that these law enforcement officers in this county have blundered this situational case, because a lot of evidence that they could have achieved and statements that they need to have gotten, they haven't done yet. But civil liability is still on the table, because they left with this black man in a boat full of alcohol, and this operator of this boat, I'm pretty sure, was an adult. You trying to tell me an 18-year-old was driving this boat all the way to this island? You lost your damn mind. And if I ain't heard nothing about no churn driving boats out there, but we're going to assume it's an adult. We've got pictures here that shows that they're drinking the Michelob Ultra in the special commemorative cans for the World Soccer event going on right now. Yeah. Alcohol. This young man didn't make it back. Civil liability is on the table. So if there's no criminal charges, you've always got this civil liability that still lingers. Let's keep it moving. Before we keep it moving, how do you feel so far? Loratti, start first.
Ms. Jenkins, I've noticed that everyone kind of has a blind eye to underage drinking. And I see this blind eye handled in the colleges. I see it handled in these local areas that, it seems like groups of people go there all the time. They're the same groups that go every weekend. But they have a blind eye when it comes to underage drinking. It seems to be the norm. It's okay. But in the end, when I look at the total picture, it's not okay. Because it's okay when no one gets hurt, but as soon as someone gets hurt, people are going back to try to clean up their mess so they're no longer accountable. See, if you're going to be accountable and give these young people alcohol, that's one thing. Turn yourself in and say, I operated the boat in regards to this young man being missing. We were responsible to get him there and we didn't get him back. That's the first thing I want to hear somebody say. But that's my take on just that alcohol situation. My situational issue here is respect and responsibility, overlooking the fact that you take a life and don't return with it and don't feel responsible for the life and the answers that a family is going to need when you don't have their significant family member with you. You just stand there with a look on your face? This is troubling for me. You know what? I'm just tired of white people doing crazy stuff and making me look bad. That's what I'm tired of. There's always something, and they're always doing something. And it's still just making me look bad, and I don't like it.
Well, I'm telling you right now, the Bible does touch on interest, but not in the modern financial sense alone. It speaks to both human engagement and spiritual investment. The idea of caring deeply shows commitment and being present in what truly matters. And if I'm taking your child with me, then I care deeply for you and your child. I just don't take people with me anywhere, especially if you don't know how to act. But if you know how to act and I want you to have a good time and I'm taking your child with me, I am responsible for your child. In the final context, Scripture often warns against exploiting others through interest or usury. And I'm going to tell you where you can look this up. Exodus 22:25, Proverbs 28:8. But in the human and spiritual sense, the Bible constantly encourages believers to stay interested. And I'm going to tell you now, it's hard to stay interested when you never had any interest to begin with, nor choose to have it. That's where we're at here, at this crossroad, at 250 damn years. Some people just still have no interest in relieving hate from their hearts. They have no interest in being fair to people at their employment. I've had multiple jobs where a white face has said something and had no interest in me, my situations, my promotions, have no interest in my success. It's just the opposite. In the human and spiritual sense, the Bible constantly encourages believers to stay interested. It's something that you have to nurture. You can lose interest in something very quickly if the right situation comes across. You have to be attentive and devoted and engaged in your faith, your relationship, and your purpose. And for one mother to disengage that immediately, cut it off immediately, it shows you there's no loyalty. You have to be loyal within your tribe. Outside of your tribe, there's no loyalty. We go to Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart and working for the Lord. Romans 12:11. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Shows that genuine interest, passion, care, and effort is a divine trait. Reverend No-Show, did I cover this correctly?
Miss Jenkins, it looks like you was just giving out the information as if I was giving out the information. I give you an A+ on that. So yes, the Bible does discuss interest as a reflection of commitment and love. A reflection. When another parent looks at another parent and has no answer to where their child is, she disconnects the commitment And there obviously isn't any love there for that other mother who can't find her child. There is no love. A true mother that loves her child loves another mother that loves her child and will reach her hands out to that mother immediately when she finds out that her child is missing and put her hands over her shoulders and hug her and say it's going to be all right. That's what a real mother does. It's about being invested in what's good, right, and meaningful, not just financially, emotionally, and spiritually. Good, right, and meaningful. It's heartbreaking to see that we are not moving forward. We are actually moving backwards in this relationship between us and them.
Well, Reverend No Show, I got to agree with you. I got to agree with you because 250 years and we running around here celebrating for what? That's what the question mark is. After 250 years, what do we celebrate? 4th of July, a black man loses his life found on a beach 2 days later. On an island 2 days later. Let's get down to the root of the seed that we're planting in the minds of anybody that's listening to this. Let my father communicated with me thoroughly. And he made this statement. He said, some things never change, no matter how different they look. I'm going to repeat this again. Some things never change, no matter how different they look. It's the truth behind human behavior, patterns, and motives. Appearances shift, styles evolve, people dress up differently, but the core stays the same. The idea shows up in variations, such as the more things change, the more things stay the same. Even when the surface changes, the underlying reality often doesn't. Old habits die hard. People tend to repeat familiar patterns. We're seeing a pattern here. We're seeing a pattern here, and it's the same context you hear on the news. Oh, you got one little black man around a bunch of white people, and now he's dead. Oh, it happens again here. Oh, it happens again here. Oh, it happens again here. Well, the concept that surrounds this is simple. It's called a wolf in sheep's clothing. Appearances can hide unchanged intentions. Everyone is not your friend, and that's what I hear when I was young. Everyone is not your friend. Some people call themselves your friend, but they're not your friend. God is your first friend on the planet, and always should be. And if you follow God, then you know you have to follow these true 10 commandments. And the main one you need to follow is honor thy mother and thy father. And if your mother and your father knew that you was out drinking, you wouldn't do it because they wouldn't approve of it. If your mother and father was sitting next to you, next to them white boys on that boat, you would not be drinking. And if they allow you to drink like that, shame on them. Because you're asking for a situation to happen when you put alcohol down the throat of an 18-year-old person. They're irresponsible as hell to begin with, but then you put alcohol down their throat. It's a terrible combination. So in the end, we carry the ultimate responsibility to protect ourselves, and our children are that interest. They are the living proof of our future, the heartbeat of our communities, and the reason we must stay vigilant. Warnings from the past are not relics. They are reminders that speak to us today. If we ignore them, we risk repeating the same mistakes. I repeat this again. If we keep ignoring them, we risk repeating the same mistakes. But if we honor them, we build a safe, stronger tomorrow. Protecting our children means protecting our future, and that is a responsibility that we cannot afford to fail. It's heartbreaking to get out of a bed and go to your child's room and see it's empty, and they will never return to that room. It's heartbreaking. You know, you see these images we have here. You got a white woman with a back to a black woman. Why? If we look at this scenario, we say why? Because if she just told her that her son is missing, and she just turns her back and looks out to the sky and shows no empathy or sympathy, we've got a big problem here. You took my child out, but now you don't have any empathy or sympathy because my child is not here, hasn't returned, and we don't know where he is. Something's very wrong. Something is very wrong. You know, this Horn Island, this area of fun and excitement that they obviously enjoy, people invested good money in those boats to travel all the way there to be young and free and have fun. I get it. But see, that Horn Island reveals a deeper failure, not just of youthful recklessness, but of adult irresponsibility and law enforcement neglect. When adults operate boats while intoxicated and provide alcohol to minors, they cross a line from carelessness into criminal accountability. These are not isolated lapses. They are acts that endanger lives and erode the moral fabric of the community. Law enforcement's absence on the water allows this behavior to thrive unchecked. It sends a dangerous message that the rules don't apply beyond the shore. The duty to protect doesn't stop at the dock. It extends to every vessel, every wave, and every young person placed at the risk by those who should know better. Adults who enable underage drinking while piloting boats intoxicated are not just breaking the law, they are betraying trust and modeling destruction. Horn Island deserves vigilant oversight, not silence. The failure to patrol and prosecute these violations is a failure to protect the innocent. And Nolan was innocent. He was. When authority turns a blind eye, chaos fills the void. Listen to that. When authority turns a blind eye, chaos fills the void. The waters may shimmer with beauty, but beneath that surface lies a current of negligence, one that demands accountability before tragedy becomes routine. ZZ109FM Talk Radio. This is Elsie Jenkins. We're not going to sugarcoat you with bells and whistles, high AI technology. We're not going to do that. We're going to tell you the truth. And if you really care and if you really love your neighbor, when you take your neighbor's child somewhere and they go somewhere and they get injured, you call them immediately. You tell them, hey, we at the skating ring and little Tommy twisted his ankle. He's not doing too good. The other parent will respond, oh my goodness, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, let me tell you something. Are you going to the hospital? What y'all doing? You need me to come out there? Communication begins. Not the opposite. Now, you return without someone's child and you have nothing to say. Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. And it can't be ignored. That is not the response from a real mother. A real mother would say, oh my God, well, he went with us, but we dropped him off and someone else was going to take him. Bring him back. And you would be there with them. You would find time to tell your husband or wife, hey, I'm going over to Nancy's house. We can try to figure out what's going on with her son. Because I feel kind of bad that he went with us, but we didn't bring him back. That's what you call true empathy, true sympathy. You care. Honest care. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. But you stand beside another parent when their child is not returned from an event like this. With all this water between here and that island, you are going to be very concerned because you're wondering, how did they get back? Did they get back? You can tell from people's responses whether or not they are truly, and I mean this with the bottom of my damn heart, being here with all these years on the planet, if they are truly interested in your ass. And I can tell you now, from being here on this planet, there's a whole lot of white people that have no interest in what I say, what I do, and my success financially, they have no interest in me at all. And from what my father told me, that ain't never gonna change. That ain't never gonna change. I'll be dead and gone, and these same white people are never gonna have interest in my grandchildren and their grandchildren and the grandchildren after them. They're never gonna have any interest in us. ZZ109FM Talk Radio. I hope a seed has been planted today. Because when you look across that counter at the grocery store, when you look across that bank teller, when you look across that law enforcement officer or that person in the hospital, you have to ask yourself, do they have any interest in my well-being with my health, my money, my food, my groceries, my bills, my spending? Do they have any interest in my success at what I'm about to do? You can tell by the demeanor of some of these people that they do not. They're just doing their job because they have to, and you are the person that I have to serve at the moment. It's sad, but this is knowledge that everyone needs to have to be able to maintain a relationship with these people in the future. That's all it is. That's all it is. And 250 years from now, we're going to be in the same spot, this same predicament when it comes to what kind of interest do they have in us. It ain't no different. They didn't have interest in us 250 years ago. And we look today, they don't have any interest in us today. And 250 years from now, they still ain't going to have no interest in us. Elsie Jenkins, goodbye.